GSSSA Senior Boys National Championship, starting this Wednesday at 8 p.m. live on Cable 12.
Coming up tonight, the Deputy Prime Minister says the government is on its way to fulfilling its job creation promise.
Now there's been a surge because of the hope.
A preview of the mid-year budget expected next week. Vets say Operation Potcake already a success. Ground broken for a new park in Garden Hills.
I feel it, do you feel it coming?
Plus, entrepreneurs encouraged to go green. We've got those stories and much more for you tonight. I'm Nikia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Good Saturday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Cable 12 Studios. Topping news tonight, Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis said the drops in unemployment across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and overall are encouraging signs to the Christie administration. As for the growing unemployment among young people, he said today that age group just needs to be more persistent, as these latest figures prove jobs are being created as was promised. Dana Smith has that story.
The Deputy Prime Minister said the creation of 2,600 jobs in the past 6 months, according to the latest labor force statistics, is just one step towards that 10,000 job creation promise he made during the 2012 election campaign. Though he admitted today the country needs more.
We need more than 10,000 jobs, right? We need more than that, right? It has a threshold that was put out there just to keep us focused, keep us working hard to ensure that at least we reach that threshold.
The latest statistics released just yesterday show that 1,080 jobs have been created in New Providence since the last survey conducted this past May. 820 were created in Grand Bahama, and the rest of the 2,600 total were spread across the other islands. The statistics also show the national unemployment rate has dropped from 16.2% to 15.4%, something Davis praised as promising. He also held the drop in discouraged workers, people who are willing and able to work but do not seek employment because they have given up looking.
Now there's been a surge because of the hope, because of the promise, not only the promises but the hope and reality that there are jobs being created, and so more people are now entering what I call the job market in search for jobs, and hence their numbers appear to be as high as it is. But as you can see, it is trending downward, and we hope to be able to bring it down to an acceptable level in the not too distant future.
However, the labor force statistics also showed an increase in unemployment among young people, ages 18 to 24, from 30.8% to 32.3%. Responding to this, Davis said it's just a matter of younger people being more proactive.
It's a question, I think, of them preparing themselves and readying themselves and not giving up, and being persistent. There are jobs there for them. I mean, I say there are jobs for them, there are jobs being created. They have to be proactive and looking for it.
Davis named the National Training Institute as one initiative the government has to help young people prepare themselves for the job market. Davis added the government is working assiduously towards creating more jobs. For NB12 Weekend, I'm Dana Smith.
The government will bring its mid-year budget to the House of Assembly on Wednesday to give an update of where the country stands financially. State Minister for Finance Michael Halkitis has said the government is making headway in reforming the country's finances and stated that the latest exercise will have no request for borrowing. Last February, the government ordered its various departments and agencies to cut 10% from their budgets. Halkitis said we won't see any more of that in this year's midterm budget either.
For this year, we're not asking agencies to do any additional tightening. We just, in the normal course of business, asking all agencies to recognize that, the situation that we continue to be in, we have to get value for money, we have to manage our expenditures, we have to do more with less, but there would be no extraordinary request to say, okay, cut X amount.
According to the central bank, the deficit for the first 5 months of the 2013-2014 fiscal year narrowed by $23.4 million to $201.3 million. Halkitis said it's thanks to the Christie administration's belt-tightening measures and better revenue administration.
We expect that we would at least meet what we had projected last year to the end of the year. We're trying to do even better by aggressively going after outstanding revenue, modernizing some of our procedures in terms of real property tax, in terms of customs, in terms of road traffic, to make sure that we are collecting as much revenue as we can, while at the same time managing our expenditure. So we'll continue to exercise that sort of discipline, and so we expect, barring any unforeseen circumstances, that, this year we should come in on target.
Government debt as a percentage of GDP was projected at 53.1% at the end of the 2012-2013 fiscal year and 56.4% at the end of the 2013-2014 year. The national debt stood just under $5 billion in 2012, or 61% of GDP. Well, in just a few days, Bahamians will be able to travel to China without a visa and vice versa. The mutual visa exemption agreement signed back in December takes effect this coming Wednesday. That's February 12th. The agreement allows a person holding a valid diplomatic, official, service, public affairs, or ordinary passport from either country to travel to the other visa-free for up to 30 days. But it does not allow the holder to engage in gainful employment, to study, or to reside in either country. Now, after signing the agreement last year, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell said the Bahamas now joins North America, Europe, and Australia as one of the top destinations for over 70 million possible Chinese tourists who frequently travel internationally. The visa agreement comes into effect months before the China-invested multi-billion-dollar Baha Mar resort expects to open its doors. Now, while the agreement allows visa-free travel, visitors are still expected to meet general entry requirements when being processed by immigration authorities. Travelers are required to present a passport with valid relevant visas for transit states and a round-trip ticket for entry and exit. In other news, officials from the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation were in Andros last week assessing the housing needs of the residents there. It is also expected that Bahamians from throughout the archipelago will flock to that island once the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute is up and running. According to Prime Minister Perry Christie, the Research Institute is expected to create hundreds of jobs, and the government is hoping that the project will be the catalyst for the island's economic growth. BMC Chairman Alex Storr said the corporation wants to ensure that there is sufficient housing well in advance.
The Bahamas Mortgage Corporation is coming to Andros. We're going to look at the housing needs for Andros because of the new project with the agriculture school. We know that there will be an increased need for housing, so we want to come in and take a look at the needs and see if Bahamas Mortgage Corporation can provide a solution to it.
But Storr said Andros isn't the only family island on the corporation's radar, and BMC is planning to assess various family islands. He said many Bahamians are qualified to own their own homes, and the corporation wants to reach out to them. BMC officials were in Grand Bahama at the end of last year reviewing various subdivisions throughout that island.
Andros is the first stop because of the project. We plan to go in San Salvador, Exuma, Luto, all the islands and see what the needs are and see how we can adapt to accommodate them.
Storr, however, did not say when he would be visiting the other islands.